Coming up Monday at 9 on Suncoast View, it's Monday Movie Madness and a great way to beat this summer heat. So our movie guy Matt is back to talk new summer releases. Plus, we're going to take a look at some great indie movies that you can catch right here on the Suncoast. Then Florida Studio Theater previews a musical whodunit. This is right up Linda's alley, Murder for Two. And Blue Mangrove Grill joins us in the kitchen.
Welcome back. We are here with Nicole from My Delicious Blog. Nicole, what are we making?
We are making a seared red snapper with a roasted veggie puree.
I love your recipes. They're always great because you use whatever the fresh catch is and it's prepared beautifully. So how do we get started?
Well, the first thing I did was I cut up a bunch of veggies. There's fresh fennel in here, red pepper, garlic. I threw a jalapeno in there and a sweet onion. And then I roasted it with some olive oil, salt and pepper at about 425 degrees.
That's kind of simple.
Yeah, very simple.
For how long?
Maybe about 25, maybe 30 minutes, depending on what you're putting in there.
425, okay.
Do you turn them at all partway through?
I do like to mix them a little bit so they cook evenly. And ideally, if you can get some caramelization in there, it's even better because, you know, that equals flavor.
The brown crunchies.
So once they come out like this, I usually just take the whole batch, put it in a food processor with some fresh parsley and basil, just whiz it all together a few times, and then it comes out like this.
So it's almost like a tapenade.
I guess.
A little bit.
Yeah,
okay, can I take a bite of that?
Sure.
Here's where I'm so interested. By itself, I'm not a huge fan of onion. I don't like fennel much at all.
Interesting.
Not a big pepper fan, and I admit I already took a bite of this, so I know. So good.
Really?
Well, the good thing about fennel, and I know what you mean, sometimes raw fennel to me, it's good, but I don't adore it. So when you roast it with some olive oil, a little bit of salt, it gets so sweet and caramelized. It's delicious.
Excuse me, maybe I'm allergic to fennel.
Does fennel have that licorice flavor?
When it's raw, it has a
Yes,
really
it does. But when you have roasted all these and then pureed them, it's just, it's an explosion of flavor. With something like fish is great because fish can be very mild.
Exactly.
Certainly by itself.
I think the best thing about this dish is that you can toss in a bunch of veggies and have a healthy fish and you're done. You don't have to even cook anything else, and it's gluten-free. It's got a lot of the benefits of everything we're shooting for.
So teach us about fish. So here's the thing. Do you do a lot to it? Do you do nothing to it because it's fresh and wonderful? Like, where's the middle ground there?
To be honest, if you have a good fresh piece of fish, the simpler the better.
Okay.
All I like to do is put a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of butter for flavor in the pan, and make sure you have a good hot pan. I think sometimes people are afraid of cooking fish at home because it might smell up the house, or it's undercooked, or it's chewy, it's dry. And so if you start with a hot pan, toss in your olive oil and butter, and just simple salt and pepper each side of the fish. If you get a good sear on the first side, couple of minutes there, and then flip it once it's nice and brown and caramelized, then you're only 2 to 3 minutes away, depending on the thickness, but that's really the simplest way to cook fish.
So then maybe a nice little side topping like you made, but keep the actual fish itself simple.
Yeah.
That's great advice, because as you pointed out, we do have so many markets here, so many of them, of course, bringing in fresh catches every single morning, but yet, you know, we don't need a fancy recipe, we don't need a chef's sauce.
No, you really don't. And so when I plate it, I usually just put a little bit of the puree, with a little piece. I'll just take a little piece of this.
Oh, so you don't put the whole piece.
Well, you could if you were by yourself, but we're tasting.
You're not going to get the whole piece. You're only going to get a bite.
Let's see if I can get this out.
Nicole, while you're doing that, I have a quick question for you. I know that fresh is better when it comes to fish, but sometimes if buying frozen is the easiest option, is that how bad is that to go frozen?
It's certainly not bad. There's some wonderful fishes out there that
You do that, I'll do this.
that are frozen. The only key is defrost it well and make sure you really pat it dry well, because it's been typically flash frozen, sometimes right on the boat, so you can't get much fresher than that. It does hold a lot of water.
Okay, so that's good advice.
Pat it dry very well. That way it won't steam in your pan. It will actually sear.
And is that true even if we buy them at the fish market and bring them home? You know, they often aren't dry because they've been packed in the, you know, the Ziploc bag for transport and stuff. Pat them dry before we sear.
Really.
This is so good. I just dropped a piece and I almost went down to get it.
Well, there's more here if you need it. You know, the other thing too about this puree, I love this. You can even put dip this on a crostini and have it as an appetizer.
Yeah.
But you could, if you didn't have a food processor or you don't want to take that step, just eat the veggies like this as a side dish or
look
as a little
delicious.
veg.
Oh, so fresh, so healthy, and so Suncoast. You know, we've got these great fish markets. Pick up some fresh fish. Give it a great saute, and you are good to go. So check out Nicole's My Delicious blog, and you can get more great ideas. And, of course, we'll have them on our website at My Suncoast for you. Thanks for joining us for our first week of 9 a.m. shows. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here Monday, 9 a.m.
Happy weekend.
Enjoy the Suncoast view.